Hello, back again on to the package number 4, week 4 tutorial. The last query we did was length of stay for inguinal hernia, and that has got 9 rows of different. Now let's say we wanted to do a report based on the top 3 inguinal hernias, the top 3 average length of stay inguinal hernia. So if we sort by inguinal hernia, um, or just the smallest. What we actually want is, let's say I want to do a report based on these 3 inguinal hernia. How could we do that? Well, one thing we could do is we could actually select, say, I want K4040, I want K4030, I want K4031. So we could go into another query. We could say, okay, well, let's make a new query, create a query, base it on the inguinal hernia query. Let's say, so DS1, let's grab it, the DS1 table. And so I could say I want K4030, I want or K4031, or what did I say the other one was? K4040. K4040. But you can see that, and that's will work. So if I drag tdiag1, actually it's got to be tdiag1. This will work. If I run that query, I will get those particular codes. But there's a couple problems with it. One problem is that it's manual. You've got to do it by hand. You might make mistakes with your typing. It's not automated. If you want to add another one to it, you've got to add it, you've got to delete it, you got to figure out which one was the most one. Like if I said, oh, I just want the top 2, well, that means you've got to go back to this one, you've got to say which was the top 2. Oh, 4040, 4030, we've got to delete 431. So it's just kind of problematic. There's much better ways to do it. If I said I want the top 100, well, you'd be typing for a long time. Not good. So how can we do it so that we don't have to type those in? Well, that's called a filter. We're using the criteria to filter the records out. But we can also use another query to filter the records out. What do you mean, use another query? Let me show you. So if we take this length of stay summary for inguinal hernia, we can use, if we joined this query, the query is just like a table. So we could join this table to the DS1 table. Mind blown. Anyways, let's try that out. So let's grab query 1. Let's pull the inguinal hernia summary, length of stay summary in there, and we'll join it by tdiag1. So this says for every one of the DS1 records, for every one of the length of stay and sex, give us also the count, for example, and the average. So this, and maybe even the description, why not? So this joins them up, but that doesn't do any. So that says I want to filter out just the ones that are K40 star. So that basically does the same thing. 1922. It joins up those ones. It says give me the ones that have this thing. That's odd. That should be 1932, but I don't know why. It doesn't matter. Okay, but let's say we just want the top 3 of these. Well, what can we do? We can change this query to just have the top 3. So how do we change this query so it's just got the top 3 of those? Well, that's quite easy. We go into design here. We sort it by the thing we want to sort it by. We want to sort it by the average length of stay. So we're going to sort by that. We're going to sort in a descending manner. So when I run the query, it comes up. Those 3 are on top. And then I'm going to say, I only want to return 3 records. So that's how you get the top 3. You return 3 records. So now when I run that query, it's only got the top 3. If I save that query and then I rerun this query, it won't have 1922 anymore. It's only got 163, and it's only got those 3 queries. So this is a way to specify a small subset of the queries. A small subset of something that you can select out. You can use top n to select out. So I'm going to save that as. Did I say save that? I was only supposed to, okay, I put the wrong fields in there. So I was supposed to have tdiag1, ASCII desc. I'm supposed to have sex, and I'm supposed to have I'm supposed to count. So yeah, so how many people are in each of the top three? I think I did it by let's do this right. Yeah, okay, so let's do this right. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to call it top three, because people get confused if you don't name things right. So I'm going to close that. So this length of stay summary for inguinal hernia, I should have called that something different. I'm going to close it. I'm going to rename it to top three average length of stay inguinal hernia. Rename. Three average. Great. So now when I try to open this one, it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to go into the design view and I'm just delete it really. Sometimes this, when you rename things, it breaks things, and this is one of those cases. Close. So I'm going to delete that, and we're going to try again. So we've got the top three average length of stay. I don't know why it's got. Yeah, so great. So now we're going to create a new query. Query design. We're going to drag in both the top three average length of stay and also the DS1 table. Now, what are they joined on? They're joined on tdiag1. And so this is the filter. So because there's only three here, we're only going to have three there. If I drag in tdiag1, ASCII desc, sex, and a count field. Oops. So we want to turn the totals on, and we want that to be a count field. Great. So now this is the count of those three types by gender for the top three with the average length of stay by gender. So that's kind of nice, but sometimes it's useful to be able to have the male and female laid out on the top of the column. I showed that in the lecture, but I'll show it to here as well. So here we turn change the query into a crosstab query. There we have to decide what's going to be on the side. So those are going to be row headings, the ASCII desc and the tdiag1 row headings. The sex is going to be a column heading, and the count will be a value. And when we run that, now we see that there's data inside the query, much nicer way of looking at it. So we're going to save that as top three average LOS inguinal hernia. Top three. Gender count. Let's rename that just so that it says the right thing. Now I got to close it first. Close. Rename it. Count. Great. And cool. So that's the querying. Now let's do some reporting. Reporting is a report wizard. So reporting, you generally want the report wizard. We're going to report based on that table there, complications by procedure with length of stay. The final, one of the main tables there that we made. So that's the one that's got 60 records in it, I think. Yes, good. Close. We're going to create, so if we open it up and then we do the report wizard, it saves as a step. Great. So the report was, it says based on that query, there's 3 columns in it. We want all 3 of those columns. We can move all of those fields over if we want, and then we say next. And then it says, what levels do you want to sort on? We want to sort on. We want to group and sort on. We're going to leave code ID behind. Sorry. We just want ASCII desk and length of stay. We're gonna group on ASCII desk, so we're gonna add that as a grouping level. And we want some base statistics. So we want some summary on sum, average, max, and min. Is that right? Yes. And we want the detail and summary. And yeah. Now, which layout do we want? Yeah, you can try a few of them out. We'll go with block, because I think block's a better choice in general. Yeah, and then we can preview the report. So finish. It doesn't. The finished report doesn't look real beautiful because it's got all these summary things in it, and some of them are left justified and some of them right justified. But that's your job, is to make that report look good. How do you make that report? So this is the heading for the group. So division of abdominal adhesions. It's got a 1 detail record, so there's just 1 person in there. Whereas laparoscopic repair of inguinal hernia has got 3 people in there, and these are the totals down at the bottom here. So our job is to make that beautiful. So what would I like? I'd like to make the heading better, change the column headings to make more sense. Yeah, make the whole thing pretty. Yeah. So the job here is you go into the design of it, change something, come back out, and try to see what you did, to see whether you fixed anything. So there's, in the design view, there's 2 types of things. There's the things that are in gray, which are text that actually gets printed on the screen, and there's things that are in non-gray, which are fields. Don't change the fields. If you change the fields, it won't work. So if I change ASCII desk to ASCII desk _1, and I change the view of the report, it's going to say, I don't know what ASCII desk _1 is. It thinks it's a field. If I put something in there, it just prints it out. SDF. So it didn't work very well. So let's don't do that. Let's go back into the design view and undo that thing. Don't change the fields. Change the headers. So, for example, this header, we would like it to say inguinal hernia description. Deep sigh. And length of stay would be length of stay. And now we run that query, run that to show you what that looks like. And you can see now it says inguinal hernia description and length of stay. What would we like this to look like? So this is the header for the summary section. I think the summary section could be made much more beautiful. One thing would be good is if we made that say summary for one episode. I think that would be good. And it would be good if that said summary for 1 episode, and if that said summary for 3 episodes. So that would be good if we could change that to say that. So let's do that. Summary for. So this is a big long formula, just like in Excel, you've got formulas. So Interesting. Yeah. So summary for, and so we don't care about this. Well, what you do is you can delete anything that's between ampersands along with one ampersand. So we can delete all the way back to that ampersand, and we run that, and you see summary for. It doesn't say ASCII desk anymore. We got rid of that little bit there. So we don't need that space, so we can get rid of that. We actually don't want the thing in square brackets there. That's actually the ASCII desk. It's the inguinal hernia description that we want, but we don't want to say anything. We just want to say, so we can get rid of that entirely. Count of star tells us the number of records, so we do want that. We don't want the brackets, so we can get rid of that and the ampersand. Summary for, that'll say 1, and so this is a formula. It says if the count is 1, then say detail record, otherwise say detail records. So we want to change that to say episodes. Episodes and episode. And we can get rid of the bracket at the end as well, along with the ampersand. And, yeah, see what that looks like. Summary for 1 episode, summary for 1 episode, summary for 3 episodes. And those are the 3 episodes we're talking about. So I think the other thing we want to do is we want to make this summary be a bit more concise. You know, it's a bit ugly right now. So how can we do that? We could make it a bit more concise. So let's do that. We'll go into the design. We're going to move these things around. We want the total and the average to be beside each other. So we want to move those together. I shift clicked on them so I could highlight them both at the same time, and then I used the arrow keys to move them around. The arrow keys are quite useful in this case because they can provide more precise movement. So I'm going to shift click on these 4 things, and then I'm going to use the arrow keys to move them around. The other thing that's kind of useful is to you can make things align up. So we highlight all 4 of those things, and then we say, I think arrange, align to top. And so now they all align to the same top. Similar with those 4 things, just things lining up, look nice. Align to top. PowerPoint also has that functionality, I must say. And yeah, we're going to change some of those texts as well. So we're going to make them all a bit wider. We should have done that beforehand, shouldn't we have? Let's make it a bit wider. We want to go make that a bit wider. Sum total. So let's move those 2 back. You can also click on them and make them all narrower. That's useful. And minimum. We're going to make those a bit. We can make those a bit narrower too. So you see, it's fiddly. I certainly don't like doing it myself. But now we've got a little block of text that we can have a look at. Total length of stay, average length of stay, minimum, maximum length of stay. summary for one episode. So it's the summary for this type of this length of stay. What else could we do? We could change the. We need to write justify all the numbers. So we do that in the properties. So this minimum and maximum. We have the properties here over in the property sheet on the right hand side, and we want it to be decimal places. Doesn't matter for that one actually, but yes, format. There we go. No. Where is the property for the alignment? Text align. There we go. Text align has to be aligned to the right. Lovely. And we want the property of everything to be the same number of decimal places. So it's format fixed with 1 decimal place. And now when we go look at that, you see everything's got the same number of decimal places. It's kind of a beautiful summary for 1. Yeah, how could that look better? A bit of white space between these two would be good. A bit of white space above that. I'm not sure the detail is actually helping us here. Maybe we just want the summary. Yeah, I'm going a bit wild from the. Let's see, what does it say? Division of abdominal adhesions. We have actually turned off the detail in the sample report. I guess I didn't do exactly what I said I was going to do. Yeah, but anyways, there's a lot of things you can do at this point, and I'm not gonna worry about it. But you can spend a lot of time on this. I'll show you how to turn the detail off. That might be useful. So we've got the detail section there. We can click on that section and say visible no. The problem with that is that we lose the whole ASCII desk thing, so we have to add it into here. Summary for inguinal hernia. For ampersand to add the text together, a SCII underscore DSC. Okay. So we've lost the description, but we've got the summary for. We change a bit of the change the design again and put a space after that. So it is fiddly and it's hard to make it look good, and I'll leave that up to you because I can't be stuffed really. Good, but that's it for the tutorial.